Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, breaking news in the battle over abortion in Michigan. It is bringing the focus of the entire state to a courtroom in Oakland County. Earlier today, protesters from both sides shared their feelings on the emotional battle that's been renewed since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Only court orders are preventing the enforcement of a 1931 law that would make abortion illegal in most cases in Michigan. Today, the battle is over a restraining order from Judge Jacob Cunningham that's preventing county prosecutors from actually enforcing the law, which is more than 90 years old. Now, the judge issued that restraining order at Governor Whitmer's request when an appeals court ruled prosecutors could enforce the ban if they choose to do so. This preliminary hearing is a shorter version of a trial with witnesses and opening statements. One key argument is emerging over a woman's right to bodily integrity.
There is a right to bodily integrity under the Michigan Constitution, and that an abortion ban violates that right. They're kind of two ways of saying the same thing. The point is that the constitutional right exists, and it is a right to bodily integrity, and it encompasses within it a right to abortion.
This bodily integrity argument just does not cut it. And besides, again, I can't emphasize this enough, show me a case that says the right to bodily integrity in Michigan means there's a right to abortion. They cannot point to such a case because it doesn't exist.
So if the restraining order is lifted, it would mean county prosecutors could enforce the law. Some have said they would refuse to do so, meaning the legality of abortion could vary from county to county. Testimony is underway right now. We will have a live update on Local 4 News at 5. We've been tracking some spotting showers for a few days, but today some of those showers are turning into downpours. Meteorologist Kim Adams is watching the Exact Track 40 radar. What are you seeing, Kim?
More widespread showers today than we had yesterday, Karen, and in a different location. Yesterday, most of the activity was in Macomb County from St. Clair Shores all the way up to Port Huron. Now today, it shifted a little bit further off to the west from Flint down to the west of Waterford and Novi and in Ann Arbor. And you can see these little white areas here. That is lightning. So we are picking up a little bit of white lightning. So I'm going to just zoom you in here, do some street level mapping for you. We're getting some showers right now, right outside the airport in Romulus. I want to go in just a little bit tighter here so that you can see exactly where I'm talking about for the heaviest amount of the rain. It's going to be tracking for the most part to the southwest. We'll get in tight right here for you. And you can see right along the freeway here, I-94, getting a downpour just outside of Ecorse. I'm going to have your forecast here coming up, but we've got some rain-cooled air out there with temperatures even in the upper 60s now at Metro Airport. We're going to talk about your forecast, do a little more street level mapping here coming up in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Kim. 2 men who pleaded guilty in a plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer took the stand today in a new trial. Ty Garbin testified the FBI in no way entrapped the men who were members of the Wolverine Watchmen. He did admit he agreed to help prosecutors in exchange for a lighter prison sentence. The other man who pleaded guilty, Caleb Franks, told the jury Adam Fox planned the Whitmer kidnapping, and it's all Fox and Barry Croft Jr. talked about. Fox and Croft are being retried now after the first jury failed to reach a verdict in their cases. New at 5. Sean Lay digging deeper into that testimony live from Heartland, where one of the first FBI raids went down in this investigation. The first human case of West Nile virus in Michigan for 2022 has been detected in Oakland County. Now, due to privacy concerns, we don't get much information about the patient, but we do know the virus was detected in a blood donation and the donor reported no symptoms. Donations that test positive for West Nile do not enter the blood supply. The risk for the virus usually peaks in August and September. Now, we did post more information on the virus, prevention, and symptoms on our homepage at clickondetroit.com. The Georgia investigation swirling around former President Donald Trump is bringing more people in front of a special grand jury. They used to be among his closest advisors. Today, former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani faced questions for hours about the former president's efforts to overturn his election loss in Georgia in 2020. It's all behind closed doors, and Giuliani told reporters he would not talk about his testimony. He might be inclined to plead the fifth, as Giuliani has been informed he is a target of the investigation. It was all sparked by a call Trump made to Georgia's Secretary of State asking him to find the votes he needed to win the state. Trump denies wrongdoing, calling the call perfect. Meantime, a Colorado judge has ruled another former Trump advisor must appear before the same grand jury. Prosecutors want to hear from Jenna Ellis about her role in helping to coordinate legislative hearings before Georgia lawmakers, where Trump allies pushed lies about election fraud. She is expected to testify August 25th. Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney is focusing on what's next now that she's lost her bid for re-election in Wyoming. Former President Donald Trump targeted her by backing her opponent in that primary after Cheney voted to impeach him, and she has been leading the January 6th investigation. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom. And Kim, it sounds like Cheney isn't giving up her fight against the former president.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Karen, good afternoon to you. You're right. Former President Trump made it very clear he wanted Cheney to lose her seat in Congress, but now many might wonder if she could be more dangerous to him as a free agent of sorts and a possible candidate for president in the year 2024. Cheney made it clear during her concession speech she'll continue to do everything she can to make sure Donald Trump never gets anywhere near the Oval Office again. She lost her to challenger Harriet Hageman by a huge margin. Cheney has been quick to point out, too, she won the primary 2 years ago with 73% of the vote. She says she could have done it again, but refused to go along with Trump's lies about the 2020 election. Cheney has already filed the paperwork to create a new political action committee called the Great Task. She says that task is defending democracy against Donald Trump.
I know that there are millions and millions of Americans across this country, again, regardless of their party affiliation, who know that there's something more important than partisan politics and who know we all have to stand together if we want to defend this republic.
Now, the Congresswoman made that comment during a live interview on the Today Show. Anchor Savannah Guthrie also pressed her on whether she would run for president in 2024. Cheney said she is thinking about it, and that's a decision she'll make in the coming months. Up first, though, she says she'll keep working for the people of Wyoming and finish her job on the January 6th committee. Karen, she's definitely not going away, and we'll keep you posted on any new information. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it.
Sure.
Here at home, the city of Pontiac is honoring a woman who started life as a slave in Macomb County and then did something no black person had ever done before in the state of Michigan. Her life sounds like it could easily be turned into a movie, but today it's a mural painting, tribute to her amazing journey. Our Megan Woods takes us to the ribbon cutting and shares her story.
Here at Oak Hill Cemetery in Pontiac, Elizabeth Dennison IV has a drive named after her and a historic marker, but a local artist says that's just not enough. That's why he created this 60-foot tall mural to get the attention of anyone passing through.
They didn't know about it, but they'll know about it now.
That was artist Zach Curtis' goal. He handpicked Elizabeth Dennison IV for his biggest project yet.
Definitely kind of did my research and kind of narrowed it down. I had a handful of different people, and it was kind of like a home run. I saw her story, and it was just like, this is perfect, this is it.
Elizabeth was born into slavery in what's now Macomb County. She escaped to Canada and returned as a free woman. In 1825, she was the first black person to buy land in what's now Pontiac. Michigan wasn't even a state yet. Zach took it upon himself to really get this project going.
This has kind of been the wall I've always wanted to paint. I was kind of getting tired of waiting, so I just took it upon myself. So I got into contact with the building owner, raised the funds myself, and designed it all, and just got out there and started painting.
Thanks to the community and sponsors like Main Street Pontiac, in just a month, he raised $12,000. From there, Zach spent 2.5 weeks painting, and every minute was worth it.
While you're painting this, you're kind of like taking in what it stands for, what it means for the community.
For Pontiac City Councilwoman Melanie Rutherford, it means hope.
As somebody who is trying to be a homeowner, and I'm not just saying it for the camera, it's real. Every time I ride past here, I smile a little bit because I know that my day is coming and I'm going to own a piece of the American dream as well.
As the city is working on its comeback, Mayor Tim Grimel says this mural represents just that.
Life is a story of rebirth. It's a story of successfully aspiring to greater things, and that really is the story of Pontiac.
And that includes being a place for economic opportunity, like it was for Elizabeth all those years ago. So next time you pass through Pontiac, look for this face and dare to ask who that woman is.
Some little girl gonna say, "Mama, who is that? Who that black woman?" And when they say that, you can say, "Honey, that's Elizabeth Dennison IV. She was the first. She owned houses, she owned property, and she is a strong black woman."
In Pontiac, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
Thank you, Megan. If you want to check out that mural, it is near the Riker Building. That's on Huron Street in downtown Pontiac. You can also find pieces of Elizabeth's legacy in other spots in Metro Detroit. When she died, she donated money to build the St. James Episcopal Chapel on Grosse Ile. Still ahead, here first at 4, Target versus Walmart, two big retailers painting very different pictures of how the economy might be doing. We'll explain. Prosecutors tell jurors they plan to prove singer R. Kelly had a dark, hidden side, what they're saying about his behavior with underage girls. But first, we want to remind residents in these 7 communities you remain under a boil water advisory thanks to a water main break last weekend. We found out yesterday repairs should take until early September as more replacement pipe has been ordered. Stay tuned to Local 4 and click on Detroit.com for updates. We'll be right back.